what exactly makes the Titans so good? 2 words: confidence and trust. There's no hesitation or doubt in their play at all. Yeah, they've got good players, but like the key to Titans' success is not the fact that Twilight is the best Zenyatta player to ever grace the game of Overwatch. It's not like Bumper has an unbelievable talent on a main tank or anything like that. Just they play so well together. They play with no fear, no hesitation, and like they'll be, one of the things, the crazy statistics about them is like even when they lose the first play, like even when they have the ones with the first death or something like that, like go back and watch. I don't even like I'll just pull up a section about like what I mean is like the first fight and where we took King's Row first from them. Like they just never ever give up. They will use ultimates 5v6. They will use ultimates 4v6. And then especially because Goats is such a like slow-paced game, they'll like the ultimate might not like win them the fight, but it'll like give them long enough to get some sort of advantage or stabilize or get their next ultimate, which even though they're down, they're like, bring in more ultimates. It's like that old video with the trains, and it's like Futurama where, don't worry, I'm sending in more trains. That was really funny if you watch Futurama, okay? If you're not laughing, well, you just have a bad taste in television. Okay, let's pull up King's Row. Let's check it out.
To the surprise of absolutely no one.
I have only watched this once, and I watched it live. So if I missaw something, I'm gonna look like a big fucking idiot. But you know what? YOLO.
Composition with a Reinhardt.
Don't even try.
Things always like feel different in the dugout. So it's kind of like, it's weird. Sometimes you'll watch something in dugout and be like, yes, that was the case, and you watch it back and like, what was I thinking? Anyway.
Trying to take a pot shot with Widow. Yeah. Or shame, OG. Come on.
Okay.
He's no jester.
So we pulled this attack off like pretty well to start with. That was an unlucky bubble. Anyway, I'm getting distracted.
Still got some value out of the bubble. But trying to get that energy up. Higher energy, higher that number.
Rotations. This is like, our rotations are slow. Like, I don't know. That's not really a leak. They're just slow. Like, if you watch our rotations, if you watch every single, not every single team. If you watch like every single team in the league, other than like 3, the rotations are slow and sloppy. Rotations are like deceptively difficult things to do. But unless you're Vancouver, like I was here, but now I'm here, and it's just flawless execution and timing.
Zarya, the chick with the pink nail.
Like there's so many things that you have to do, like check, and the diva has to make sure the Zen crosses, and there's cooldowns that have to be expended and things. And just like some teams just have this, and it's like it's one of those things. Probably one of the things that has been the most deceptively challenging thing to do. And it's not like I didn't know it was a challenge. Like I've been a teacher before and other things, but like even if you know theoretically what is supposed to happen, like you view this from the third person perspective. Players view everything from the first person perspective. So you have to kind of like, anyway, long story short is what is obvious from third person is not obvious from first person. So especially when it comes to rotations.
More damage she does, so you need to get.
I feel like I just feel like there's a 1 hour tangent just waiting to come out on that one. But I'm gonna get through this. I swear I'm gonna get through this.
Nails up.
I know, in the midst of Overwatch battle.
Probably between doing curls, every time she brings the barbell up, it's like 1 stroke on the nail. All right, back down again.
They've given up the high ground here, and now they're pushing. That's huge. They've got a big isolation here. Bumper charges back to his team.
And we delete Suman Su. Okay, so 3 minutes and 10 seconds into this fight, which is already too long, we kill Suman Su. And that is fantastic, because Suman Su is a fucking monster. He is amazingly good, and Zarya is an amazingly important kill in Goats. But just like, watch how they did. So we almost got Bumper, and Bumper rotated, and he the cool thing about like the way that Vancouver Titans plays is they play split. They play multiple angles and like wider angles than any other team in the league by far, except maybe Sinatra. But yeah, so Bumper survived barely because if we had tried to push him, they would have collapsed and pincered on us, and Vancouver likes to do that.
Vancouver's in an uncomfortable spot.
Yeah, they're very uncomfortable. They lost Sum and Su.
They're all solo health. This is such high energy.
Got his back. Bumper's
and they had
here.
to put so many resources into keeping Bumper alive that they
force him
lost
back.
Rosaria.
Someone Sue is out in the middle of nowhere.
And they kind of do that. I'm just gonna like keep it simple. So there's a term called like ping pong where different people kind of like take the aggro and contest the point, and it's just ways to like stabilize. So Bumper here is low and his shield's low, so he just like fucks off. He's like, I'm God. I'm gone. He's not God. He's gone. He just like leaves. Peace. And Haxel's like, I'm the main tank now. But
no shields to be found.
and then Bumper was like, oh yeah, there's a fight. I'll just like come back here. And the entire time, like we've been sitting on the point more or less clustered.
Fire there from Dallas.
And they're gonna force us back. And Haxel rallies. So this is them using an ultimate down.
All the sides now. It's time to fight though, and they're here to take.
And Sum and Su is way over here. Way over here. So because of like Vancouver's ping-ponging, because of their split positioning and stabilizing and like trading of aggro, and then their willingness to commit ultimates while down, they can like extend these fights and turn the tide of these fights where we had kind of like an initial very clear-cut advantage.
Tango Hex, 2 permanent ticks picked up for Dallas Fuel.
So now they've got the control point back. Now we have to kind of like push off to stabilize, but this kind of like pushback is going to even the advantage that we have, because while we're stabilizing, Sum and Su is returning.
But the Dallas Fuel trying to play it safe, trying to back off and let that rally run out.
There's
and yes,
our rally
play off
coming
of
out.
Zachary's rally.
Haxel trades aggression for the returning tanks.
Now they're the ones getting the
And guess who pops trance?
armor.
Human Su comes back in, but the ults have now been Dallas's favor.
What's the follow-up here?
Guess who uses?
Grab is thrown in. That's going to get the blow on the side of Titan.
There's Barrier. 3 support ultimates in a fight where they were originally 5v6.
Sound Barrier, perfect timing there to keep Bumper up, or at least buy a little bit of time.
We got Bumper, but that just puts us in a 5v6, and we all know how this thing started.
They need to get a trade back here, though. The Titans will be the grab.
We have to
Uncle
use a
has
trance. Our shield is fully gone. Slime is
They're
in the
trying to get
fucking
it in
middle
here.
of us.
Now Transcendence comes out on the other side. They do trade
lose
out.
OG.
OG goes down. Slime out of it means he's not going to be back in the fight for a very long time. And with the Diva D-Mac and Haxel falling,
Every fight is a grind. Absolutely every single fight is a grind with the Titans.
Dallas.
It was like, what was it? 1 minute and 50 seconds for one fight?
Going to be back in the fight for a very long.
Yeah, 1 minute and 50 seconds in one fight. 50 seconds were burned in a losing fight for the Vancouver Titans. This was one fight, and it took 1 minute and 50 seconds to finally resolve in the Fuel's favor, and after we used a ton of ultimates. So, after this situation, they're still pretty decent on ult economy. So it's
time. And with the Diva D-Mac and Haxel falling,
pretty crazy.
Dallas.
It's pretty crazy. They they just like do not have the concept of defeat in their mind. They never ever ever stop fighting. It's just like unfaltering confidence in their own play, in their own ability to win, in their own ability to clutch. And that's very, very disorienting to have a team that kind of like doesn't play like you should expect them to play. You should think of the Vancouver Titans as a team in like, you know, when fencing was popular. Hold on a second. So in fencing, the original stance for épée is like this. Hoya! Hoya! Yeah? Do you know why this hand is originally up here? Hoya! Poke, poke, stab, stab. Anybody know why this hand is here? No? Come here. No? Okay. This hand was originally up here, not for balance, but because it was originally an outlawed, like dueling was outlawed in France, and you had to hold a lantern to like light up and see what you were doing, so you could stab, 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 stab. Okay? So, people who were like, fuck it, I'm not going to use a lantern. They're like, oh, you're so dishonorable. You're not using a lantern? How can you see? But they're like, oh, I'm suddenly going to get better balance by just like having this arm available to do things. Right? So Vancouver's like, fuck your honor. Fuck your logic of how you're supposed to play Overwatch. This is my game. That's how they play Overwatch. And it's really disorienting when you're kind of like used to teams playing by the standard convention. So, stop, Dad, you're embarrassing me. Do you get secondhand embarrassment? That must be awful. So, yeah, that's Vancouver kind of plays the game differently. You know, and it's things like this. It's why it really does like irk me a little bit when people like talk about the Vancouver Titans as like, you know, unbeatable players or anything like that. Like, yeah, they're good players. Everybody in the Overwatch League is a good player, to some extent more than others. But like to like really misunderstand why the Vancouver Titans are good and like what they do that's different than everybody else, and kind of like just attribute it to what you see in the kill feed is like really selling what they do very short. Because that kind of like that confidence and that paradigm to just approach the game like that is not something that you can just coach. So there you go. There's my kind of like rant on the Vancouver Titans.